Good evening. This is Spirit Journey. I'm feeling really uncomfortable right now. I did do earlier a video upon my hearing about Matt Lauer, who got fired for sexual misconduct. And I never knew he had that type of background. Why I'm angry. I'm angry, and I was watching some video clips about the scandal. It was just 12 in the afternoon when I learned about him being fired. And since that time, I did go on the internet to find out what happened. And it made me feel anxious. I started, I guess what you call, sometimes what happens, if you are a victim of molestation or sexual harassment, and when you hear certain things, it can cause a trigger in you and create a lot of anxiety in my case. I'm disgusted about society, and I'm disgusted about that. I kind of have to talk about another thing to get my point across, what this message is going to be about. See, the people on television, they have a veneer, an appearance. They have on nice clothes, they're well shaven, they're well groomed and all that. They speak a certain way, but you see their conduct. And then there's people who live on the street, who are not groomed. They maybe have a bad smell. You know what I'm getting at? And what I'm learning about this is that both types of people are the same. And that it doesn't matter having money or an education. These people in politics, movies, musicians, TV personalities, they're all the same. And that for whatever reason why they come into power, that they abuse their power and they just go on this frenzy to have sex with X, Y, and Z. These are married people. Why can't they just do what they want to do to their spouse? But no, they go and prey on other people. And I've never been married, so I don't understand why you have some spouses who do these things against their spouse. Okay? So now with the so-called homeless people who may not have the education, they're not groomed, maybe they don't speak as well. You know what I'm getting at? And people might think, oh, well, it's because of education. Well, that's why they act that way. I had in the past given food to 2 homeless men. It was in broad daylight, and they did something that one of them looked at me in a very sexual way, like a real perverted. And then the other one, was that he went to put his head on my lap or something. Really weird. And it's I want to be a good person and care about humanity. But some people you cannot help. And it's not safe to help. So here you have the 2 extremes. You have the people living on the street that you want to show respect or kindness to, and they were begging for food, and so you give them the food, and then they do that to you. And then you have people like what Matt Lauer allegedly did to a woman, and it might have been a series of women, and here he has everything going for himself, and then he does something disgusting to somebody, someone weaker than him. And so I think what's happening is about that paradigm shift, that it didn't matter about their education or what they're wearing. That doesn't make the person. It's what's in the person. And yes, we're more convinced of someone who looks good versus someone who is more obvious. See, people like Matt Lauer, if the allegations are true, and all the other people that you've been hearing about the past few months, that, see, they initially, because of their position, you want to give them that respect, and you assume that they're respectable people, but they're not respectable. And so I think it's confusing me that you have a so-called respectable and then the so-called unrespectable because they're living on the street. But both types of people can sexually violate your space. And it's bugging me. It's bugging me. It's like you're not safe. And that makes me anxious. Just imagine all these women, this one woman that's working, she was working with a congressman, and she had to deal with him for over 10 years of sexual harassment. And she said, look, I had 4 kids, and I'm a single parent, she was saying. And she felt with all these allegations that's going on in the media, and that she has, I think she said, grandchildren. She just felt for herself that here, I was in this type of job with a congressman, and what am I teaching my grandchildren, whatever? Come forward and stand her ground and expose it. And it was settled out of court, she said. And she's bringing up again, and I think she said that yes, she could. I hope I'm not getting different stories confused, but that it was settled out of court, and this, her coming forward again and letting people know what this guy did to her, could violate the agreement. But she said that she felt it was that important to let people know, to come forward, So it is what it is, which is disgusting. And when everything settles, the dust is gonna reform again. The people that they're letting go, these are the people on the outside. It's not the people who run the show. And these guys do what they do because they're being supported by these creeps who run the show. It's like these guys are watching like a chessboard, and when it starts to shake, so they kind of back away, or okay, just let's move the pieces around until it settles, and then do the same thing again. They're doing what they're doing because that's the culture of that industry. It's a culture of power-hungry people. And that's what I'm angry about as well. I'm angry that, as I presented in my earlier video today, that I did today, that it's all the same. And in a matter of time, it's going to settle down, and then you're going to get new creeps out there doing the same old thing. But nothing's done. Nothing's really done. I don't want to live in a society where you just want to pacify the people who are angry. People were angry all along. And they weren't heard. And they're only being heard now because they have an agenda. That's how I feel. They have an agenda, and I just think that, hey, they're paying all these people all this top dollars. Just get rid of them and start again. And I think that's what it's all about. Recycling the old. Just get a new bunch, and it's boom. Make people think, okay, let's get diversity in there. Let's have the young and all this, all new, like you gave someone a facelift. And they think everything, people are going to be just, be pacified and smile. But no, it's the same thing. Someone who just had a facelift, they're still old. And it's going to be old news. I don't want old news. I want something transformed from the inside out. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a society, a people, a nation that's about doing the right thing. Having a good mind, not a mind of perversion. It's crazy out there. It's absolutely crazy. Where I live, it's getting more and more bizarre and unsafe. I want to feel safe. And if I were in the business world right now, I want to feel safe on the job. It's not safe for these people. So I pray for safety for these women and men who are being harassed and maybe even raped on their job. So I commend these people who are coming forward and saying enough is enough. Whether it's a gag order or not, enough is enough, and I'm going to let people know what X, Y, and Z did to me. So that's all they're going to share right now. Take care. Bye-bye.